Gemini, welcome to your August of 2015 horoscope. My name is Athen. So we have a very busy month in the astrology, astrologically speaking, a lot going on. So this will be very general. Obviously, do check out the weeklies for more specific information on this. But let's go ahead and start it off. So at the beginning of the month, we've got Saturn going direct finally after his about 5-month retrograde here of mostly your 6th house of routine, health, and diet. But he recently went back into your 5th last month. So this is where he's going to go direct. So basically over the past many years, 3 years, give or take, he was in your 5th house of fun, of joy, of playfulness, of speculative business, things of that nature. So whatever it is that you've been really working hard at and really putting that disciplined energy involving either your creativity or what puts a smile on your face, Saturn is going back in here to help you really get disciplined and hard work and set really good foundations there again for you. And then this will be the last time he does this and for another 28 years until he comes back around to your 5th again. So that being said, this month he'll be there up until the 29th. So any work and hard work to put into that 5th house involving those things, I would really recommend it. And pay attention around the 1st and 2nd, because usually with a station period, we can learn quite a bit. And so here it's learning about those things, how to implement that Saturn discipline energy a little bit more into the 5th house. So that's the 1st and 2nd. Then on the 3rd, we've got Jupiter squaring up to that Saturn. So Jupiter, who's been transiting your 2nd house of values, of finances, resources, basically your sense of self-worth and confidence to a degree, has been going through an expansion and possibilities and things. He's going to be transitioning into your 3rd this month. But right before that, here on the 3rd, Jupiter will be squaring up to that Saturn. So, those things you've basically learned, which is wisdom, which is that Jupiter energy about these 2nd house matters, can certainly be assisting you towards whatever it is that you might be rehashing, redoing, restructuring in your life regarding that 5th house. And likewise, you can put that disciplined energy into the material side of life as well. So I really recommend things like getting disciplined with the finances and things like that, and saving or whatever it is that will help you build those solid foundations so you can have more excitement and fun into the future, which is always Saturn. Saturn is all about that time and future and patience there. So anyways, still expansion nonetheless, though, with your 2nd house this early part of the month. Then also on the 3rd, Venus, who's been retrograde in your 3rd house last month, is going back into, is going back into your 2nd house here. So this is where she's going to be pretty much this whole month from the 3rd onward, involving your values, finances, resources, sense of self-worth. So that area is really being activated for you. We're going to have a lot of configurations there. And now with Venus here, what is it that you enjoy about the sensual pleasures of life? About the relaxing good meal, the R&R and all of that stuff, and how you can restructure and implement that stuff into your life a little bit more, which is always what a retrograde's about. So anyways, thinking about those things, reflecting on it, because there is some new beginnings shaping up around this material side of life for you, and I think you can find that very enjoyable when you're wanting to connect to it and learn about what it is that you enjoy about it and what it gives to you. For example, if it's finances, what about the finances does it give? Does it provide you with? And being grateful for what you have really helps unlock this energy. So Jupiter's been there, so things should have been going, I would imagine, quite well for you in this part of your chart for about the past year. So maybe finishing up some things in regards to that, taking those opportunities and making them into a reality, which is, of course, what Jupiter's all about. So that's the 3rd. Then on the 4th through the 7th, we have a few configurations. It's actually a stellium taking place, 3-way conjunction between Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter here around this time. And when that happens, Mercury and Jupiter go into your 3rd house. So there's this definitive shift. And again, the houses, this is a very general reading, so the houses will be subtle, but for all of you, it'll be, around this time. This month, in regards to the shift from the 2nd into the 3rd house with Jupiter. So there's, with all that expansion and opportunities with material stuff and sense of self-worth, it's now going into the communication, the exchanges, writing, learning, taking courses, teaching courses even perhaps with Jupiter, because Jupiter is the teacher energy here in the 3rd. Broadcasting, stuff like that. spending more time with your siblings, things like that with Jupiter in the third. So anyways, lots of this activity here now for the next year involving expansion of those third house matters. And this stellium is going to set the stage for that. And there's this shift here happening, which at least with the fast moving planets around this early middle part of the month, you should notice, especially with the mind and things you're thinking about and considering, because this is of course your ruler. So basically you are going from your second house, which was last month much more about the values, enjoyments of life, going into the communicative side of things. So that's that shift and that stellium here from the 4th through the 7th. And while that's happening, Saturn is an important player this month because he's going to be squaring up to this position which the fast-moving planets are going to be passing through. So the important thing here is that, with that disciplined self-expression and fun or whatever it is that you're taking seriously this month, work at it, and you'll find that constructively assisting you in this communication stuff. So take the communication stuff seriously, take the finances seriously, all of that stuff, because you'll find that it's it's really grounding you there, and it's helping you, again, establish these solid foundations in your life in regards to these things. Another thing, too, is that Jupiter does rule your 7th house, so patience, maturity, etc. in regards to, relationships and one-on-one connections, things of that nature will also be very important. So routine, another thing, too, Venus does naturally rule your 6th house, so things relating to... Venus does naturally rule your 5th house, so really emphasizing that self-expression, okay? Really taking that stuff seriously there. So that's going to be the square energy there involving, this transition into your 3rd. And then right around that same time, Mars is actually supporting Saturn. So you should have a good drive and a good determination to get this stuff, whatever it is, this stuff, so you can have more, enjoyment into the future, so to speak. Put energy into that, because Mars trining up to Saturn can certainly be a flow of hard work and energy there. And when that happens, Mars is actually transitioning into your 2nd house of those values of resources. So while there has been, those new beginnings and things around that, now I think whatever it is, whatever maybe these opportunities here is motivating you. It's really motivating you this month and for the next 2.5 months actually, to put in that hard work, that in this sense hard work because of Saturn, but that energy into perhaps the finances or the enjoyments of life and things like that, which is all coming back to what you're learning more about yourself in regards to your values this month, which is Venus retrograde in that 2nd. So that's going to be the 7th, that Mars shift into the 2nd, which you can certainly utilize. Mars is actually pretty well aspected, as you can see, this early middle part of the month. Then on the 12th, Mercury opposes up to Neptune, your ruler. So the important thing here is this is, for your ruler, very important. Around this time period, taking things slow, making sure you're getting enough rest, relaxation, things like that. Neptune's been transiting your 9th, reminding you the importance of opening up the right side of the brain, which is possibilities, opportunities, expansiveness. That has been very healing for you, first of all, with Chiron, but also very spiritual. It's through things like astrology, through things like philosophy and wisdom and things like that, where you're finding, God, so to speak. You're finding that universal flow and love and compassion and everything. So whatever it is, it's remembering that while things will be quite busy for you, I think, this month with your ruler in the 3rd house and in Leo, finding that, time to relax, meditative stuff, and maybe do some of that reading of philosophy and travel, connecting to nature, things like that, because that'll help even out and balance a lot of this 3rd house activity for you with your ruler in particular. So that's the 12th, and then on the 14th, we've got the new moon in that 2nd house of yours. So there certainly is new beginnings shaping up in regards to your sense of self-worth and your finances and resources and things like that this month. And it's a conjunction up to Venus. So again, whatever it is you're learning about that is certainly contributing to this. And reflecting on, too, Venus does naturally rule finances also in the 2nd house. So, things relating to that, whether it's financial, material, or otherwise, wanting to rework and rethink, and reestablish, and redo things, which is always the energy of any type of retrograde movement anyways. So reflecting on that stuff around the 14th will be good. Then all's quiet in the astrology in terms of the major aspects up until the 21st, when we've got the sun shifting into your 3rd house, which will be another shift around this time period of more about communication, exchanging, that busier part of life, opposing up to Neptune later on, the 30th and 1st. So this last part of the month, again, just like I was saying with your ruler, keeping that balance between the 9th and 3rd house. But the sun here, there's certainly intentions to be had. There's exchanges, there's fun, there's joy, there's excitement. It's going to be a conjunction between the sun and Jupiter here in that 3rd house. On the 26th. So around that time, certainly, this always does hold the energy of opportunities here for you to express yourself communicatively, to learn some new information, new knowledge coming into play. The aspects are actually quite quiet during that time, which is interesting. But yeah, things relating to that, and just in general, the sun does naturally rule this 3rd house of yours. So I think you're going to understand a lot more about, exchanges and all that 3rd house activity there. So very nice. Make something of those opportunities. Now, one thing I want to say is this position here, while the sun transitions into it, will be squaring up to that Saturn. So just a reminder to keep disciplined with the ideas and the day-to-day stuff there and that hard work there with whatever it is you're putting that energy into, and then it can be very constructive because Jupiter and Saturn will be squaring each other all month. So it is this energy where we can take these possibilities of Jupiter and make them into something, but it does take that hard work, that discipline, that patience to do so, which is of course that square energy there. So something to keep in mind with that. So that's around the 26th, and then around that same time period, Mercury goes into your 4th. So there's this shift, like I was saying, it's certainly about 3rd house for you this month, but this later part, your ruler goes into the 4th and then conjoins up to the North Node. So you guys are kind of going through a new understanding of life path in relation to home, family, maybe some new things shaping up around, home, family, past roots, things like that, which can certainly be unfolding for you this month, this later part into September. So wanting to learn more about home, family, past roots, etc. will certainly be assisting your life path. Because again, this is the North Node transiting your 4th house, which is what this whole year is about for you. So that's that 28th time period. Then around the 29th, Saturn does go back into your 6th, where he's going to be for the next 2.5 years. So putting in that hard work and discipline with health, routine, diet, your regiment, things of that nature will be very supportive, and building foundations in regards to those things, your work in general. And then we have a full moon on the 29th involving your 9th house. So all that stuff I was saying about balance with the 3rd and 9th, very important here too, in regards to this illumination and a culmination of a lot of things over the past 6 months perhaps, relating to travel, expansion, possibilities, philosophy, astrology, things like that, which can certainly be highlighted during this time and culminating during this time as well. So with that being said, finding the balance between the expansive and day-to-day stuff, but still looks quite nice. It's the sun will be conjunct up to Jupiter. Neptune's close by, so there's a spiritual understanding about a lot of this stuff. And yeah, so certainly a time of reflecting on your life path. Where are you going? How can you have more adventure? How can you trust more, have more faith, things like that during this full moon around the 29th. Then 30th through the 1st, going into September, we do have a couple aspects I just want to mention real briefly towards this late part. Venus will be conjoining up to Mars going into the next month. So this is in your 2nd house here. So with all that direct energy, you can certainly take what you've learned about your values and what's important to you in that material sense with Venus retrograde in that 2nd, and really make something of it. This is the yin-yang element comes together. It's a very powerful time. You can really assert yourself, your confidence, things like that. But going after these values, so to speak, putting energy into that will be Mars conjoining up to Venus. And then the sun, of course, will be opposing up to Neptune at that exact same time, emphasizing the faith, trust, and opening your horizons, even though there's a lot of new beginnings shaping up for the day-to-day stuff for you. All right, Gemini. So I hope you guys have a nice month. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to Sidereal, do check out the website or the description, because this is different from tropical astrology. Most of the stuff you find online, your sign might actually be different. And if you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch. All right, Gemini, have a good one. Take care.